Hello and welcome to the last part of this wonderful series. After freaking 15 parts. God, I hate doing One Piece footage sometimes. This shit is so long, man. I swear to God, man. Can't do it sometimes. But here it is. It's going to be awesome. I am not going to try to give everyone a single freaking moment because I literally cannot do that. So I'm not going to force it. Those who matter most in the story will have their time in the spotlight before this finally ends. And of course, give y'all a perfect ending. If you don't like it, that's okay. But for me, my perspective, this is the best way that it could work out, considering how I've been building up Luffy and everything. Alright, without any further ado, I'll get into it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and notification bell to stay updated on all my future videos. Oh, and tomorrow I'm posting the Okira What If, so good for you. Yeah, enjoy this one. This is the final one, man. So I hope y'all enjoy yourselves. Alright, begin with the recap. Let's go. We last began with Smoker and his crew going back to meet up with the Tempest, only to find that everything was solved and Caesar was beaten, as Trafalgar was still alive. And the two groups then split up. The kids who are now okay to the chopper are sent back to their parents. Meanwhile, the Tempest taken Kiyama, Momonosuke, and Trafalgar with them. They plan to split up as Luffy wants Zoro to beat Doffy with Trafalgar, while they plan to, go to literally anywhere else. I think it's Zao. Yeah, they were heading to Zao. But then Kaido of all people would attack. Luffy would block a borrowed breath from him and tell everyone to go, and as they do, the two Yonko would fight, and it's a big thing. Big news: Morgan arrives, he takes the recorder, he caught the entire fight on film. Luffy would have won, but Kaido was still alive, and they would meet again, of course. Luffy goes back to his ship, which relieved everyone, while the whole group were happy that he was back. The whole world was shaking due to the big news. Some of them were scared, some of them were hopeful. And the group then eventually splits up as Zoro, Usopp, Killmonger, Robin, and Frankie head to Dressrosa with Trafalgar. Luffy, Nami, Brook, and Sanji and Momonosuke go to Zhao and arrive at the same time the others arrive at the Kingdom of the Joker. Luffy will get along with the Minks and meet the leaders of the people, who will be Darkstorm and Cat Viper, and they learn of the Kaido's defeat and they're overcome with joy. Luffy also lets the Heart Pirates know that Trafalgar and Zoro will be fine, and the last scene we saw was Zoro destroying Luffy and earning respect from the oppressed people of Dressrosa. Now we continue this part with Sanji being drowned in hugs from all female minks as he thought he was in heaven, and watching from above, Luffy will then sigh. He is aware they're just greeting him, right? I don't think he cares, said Viper, as Luffy will then come back in and sit down, and the Heart Pirates already left, let the leaders talk, and Dr. Storm will then say, Straw Hat, I would love to join you. To where? Wano, if it's you, then we might be able to actually free it, said Cat Viper. So I was right then. That kind of place is too closed off, but he's probably already back. I'd love to take you guys with me though, said Luffy. As these words are heard, however, their eyes then flash as they look to the door and run out, and they begin to, fall down until they land, and they then feel a presence, a huge presence, a group coming to attack. The Minks can also pick something up, as well as some people who run over, and they were clearly hurt, saying that a mammoth had attacked. Dr. Chopper stayed to fight it off. We then cut to Chopper as he's in his monster point form, and he'll be at the gates with only him and Jack being present because his men were all trampled by Chopper, but Chopper was hurt. Get the hell out of my way. Who the hell are you anyway, said Jack. Chopper with heavy breath and smiles as he raises his head. I guess I'm not that recognizable in this form. With a scoff, the confused pirate then runs forward, charging towards him as he would then swing with his trunk, but this time Chopper catches it, leaving him surprised, but covering himself with Haki, he frees himself and swings once more. Get the hell out of here, yells Chopper as he then covers his fist with Haki and slams both his heads atop his head. He completely crushes him, and his mouth will then spew blood, while the crack of his head and skull are hurt, and upon being crushed, his tusks are also completely shattered, and Tony would say, the name's Tony Chopper. Jack becomes wide at this as he cannot believe what is happening, right as he then falls to the ground completely beaten. This is when Sanji, Nami, Brook, Luffy, and Darkstorm and Cat Viper would arrive, and Chopper would then return to his much cuter form, saying, sorry about the trouble, take care of him. Three Minks become surprised because from the looks of it, that guy is Jack from the Kaido Pirates, so they grow more respect for the Doctor, who would of course run over and praised by his crewmates because that was pretty amazing and cool. However, they then feel the presence of two people and look forward to see Capone Beja and Peckham's. That bastard, yells Peckham's. What did he? Straw Hats? As he screams, Cat Viper then runs over and hugs him as he's welcomed back, and Brook with an ass, what are the Big Mom Pirates doing here? Capone Beja would then see Jack and smile, thinking he was stupid to do this, but then Luffy steps up seriously asking what they were doing here. Did he know Kaido would be coming to attack? Because we're going to need some compensation for damages, said Nami. As she gives a lustful stare for money, the two would then recluse a bit as Viper would then let down Peckham's, and he would then ask, Did Kaido and Big Mom have contact or something? Technically, Jack was gonna release a weapon, one made by Caesar. If he did release it into the air, nothing but toxin would be around right now. I'm just happy you're alive, said Beckham's. So, Caesar, eh? Let's go talk to our scientist, shall we? Said Luffy. We then cut to the Tempest cell in the ship, as Caesar would be averting the gaze of the two leaders and Peckham's. Look, I didn't use it, and nothing happened, right? So we're good. We're good, right? Oh yeah, real good. So good that I'm gonna kick your ass, just like your real friend would, said Cat Viper. Please don't. I mean, you don't want Kaido to just attack you. You're gonna die. You don't want that, do you? All your people are gonna be hurt because of one decision. Looking to each other, the mink leaders begin to chuckle as Caesar then asks if they really want to die that fast, and Beckham's will then bring out a newspaper, which he throws into the cell. Read it. Caesar felt as though he shouldn't, but he would drag the newspaper over, and what he saw next just left him lifeless. I'm so dead. Why is it me? As the three interrogated him, up on the deck, Benji tells Luffy that Big Mom wants to talk about marrying off Sanji. No, you can tell her I said that. Yeah, I never turned down a lady's offer, but when that lady is Big Mom, yeah, just says Sanji. Benji then says, okay, it's not like you'll be scared, but she's not gonna take no for an answer, you know that, right? Then I guess we have to fight. Yo ho ho ho. She might just serve the head of someone Blacklet loves on a silver platter, says Benji. Freezing up, Sanji would then actually say, I don't care about Vince Smoke. Vince Smoke? Asked Chopper. It was my family name. What? The crew would yell, but Luffy is completely calm, and all of them, including Sanji, then look at him. You knew about this? Asked Sanji. Sorry, yeah, it's not that hard. I sent a message out to Sabo. He figured it out for me. Who's Sabo? Asked Brook. Luffy then says that it's his older brother, his other older brother. And he then say, but that's besides the point. I was thinking of fighting Big Mom anyway, so we'll just get to her before she gets to us. Actually, can I have a moment with you? Asked Sanji. Luffy then says, sure, and they go to the other side of the ship, as Sanji would then say, I want to take care of them myself. The Vince Smoke family. That's a pretty hefty task, said Luffy. I know, but I gotta face my past at some point. That piece of shit is not gonna use me to grow his horrible army. So you finally get your own solo mission, said Luffy. I guess so. Think I can handle it? I'll give you my blessing. Trust me, I'll be fine. Putting his hand on top of his shoulders, Luffy then fills his body with mana before gathering into his legs, and for a moment, Sanji's legs become covered with an armor made of golden mana. Thanks for the upgrade. No problem. I figured I might since, well, he and Sanji then actually freeze up and sense something as screams begin to be heard, and the Tempest would then yell for Luffy to look up, and as he does, he finds many pirates, including the ones that I went to Dressrosa, start to drop. Is that a giant? What did you do over there, Zoro? Yells Chopper. Seeing Luffy down below, Bartolomeo would burst into tears, saying this is like a dream come true, when he would then feel wind surround him, and the same goes for Hydrogen, the Bellamy Pirates, the Tontas, well actually, yeah, it's just Leo here, but I know I'm going to say all the Tontas, or whatever their names are. Cavendish, Ido the Boxer, and Orlumbus, they all slowly come to land beside the ship, with the pirates being surprised they really made it to Zhao this easily. From the ship, Luffy then jumps down as he runs to Zoro and hugs him. Did you do it? I beat him so bad that he started crying, said Zoro. The two would then laugh as the other Tempests jumped down, meeting back up, and asking how tough it was, and Zoro would then say, I mean, he was okay. He almost ripped my head off, but I'm here, aren't I? Luffy at this point then looks to Bellamy and his first mate, Big Knife, and he walks to them. Thanks for helping out. It's nothing, big bro, Luffy. Wait a second. Bartolomeo then runs past the two, pushing them away. Can I also call you big bro, Luffy? As he begins to bow, Bell will then form as she flies to Zoro and says hi, and as he pets her, Luffy will then say Bartolomeo can call him whatever he wants. And upon hearing this, he lifts his head and begins to cry, thanking him, as Luffy just laughed. You're a big fan, huh? Oh, he sure is. Hearing a familiar voice, a man dressed, quite well walks out from the crowd of pirates, as Zoro will then say, oh, this guy won Dofi's little tournament. Luffy will then grow a smile as he comes to see Sabo, who lifts his hat and says, we don't mind, I kinda took Blackbeard's fruit. Just don't let his will overtake yours. How you been? He then gives a hug to his brother, who says that he's been well. Man, I wish Ace was here. Yeah, we could have had some sake together like the old days. He's over at Wano though, so it'll be fine. We'll meet up later. Breaking their hug, Sabo would then say that they can talk later, but it seems everyone here came to be his sons. You're underlings of sort. Well, it's only fair that the man who's above my own beauty should give me orders, said Cavendish. You're pretty brazy considering who you're talking to, said Luffy, with the pirate then becoming tight-lipped and scared. Whereas Bellamy then bursts into laughter, and the same goes with the Tempest, leaving the other men surprised by how laid back he is, because obviously that was just a joke. Walking up to Trafalgar, the leader of the Tontatas on his shoulder would then say, it'd be an honor to work with you, Luffy-lan. With a smile, Luffy then says it'd be an honor to work with them, and once again he tells Zoro he did great for, his everything he did. And this is when his grimoire would then actually open up to show something that he tells everyone to look at. Using his wind, he makes the image of their posters come alive technically, and he shows their new bounties. Luffy was now worth 5 billion berries just on his own. He's still named Straw Hat Luffy. Zoro was now worth 500 million berries. Roronoa Zoro. Sanji's now worth 100. Yeah, no, I definitely messed that up. Sanji is around like let's say 490. Yeah, 490. No. I'm gonna keep Sanji at 100 million berries. If I'm wrong for that, I'm fix it later. But after all of this is done, he will have a bounty of 6 million or something, and Zoro's gonna be higher. Anyway, he's still called Black like Sanji. Nico is now worth 80 million berries. The Devil Child Chopper is now 50 million berries. The Beast Usopp is now 300 million berries. God Usopp. Sanji is now Nami is now 66 million berries. Burglar, she's nicknamed Burglar. Frankie is now worth 110 million berries. General Frankie. And Brook is now worth around, let's say, 70 million. 5 billion, huh? Holy crap, we're gonna get so many Marines coming after us, said Frankie. Yeah, screw that. What the hell did you do there, says Nami. Usopp, you're like 300 million, holy shit. Raising his nose, the Cyberman said he was pretty amazing, to which Leo says that he became a godlike person on their land. And Sanji would then yell, I really should have gone, damn it! Why can't you guys just learn to cook? Then that would defeat the whole point of having a cook at all, said Brook. Yo ho ho. We gotta celebrate, we gotta do it now, said Luffy. And get tons of booze and meat. God, I'm starving, said Zoro. The swordsman then leaps onto Mary, as Luffy would then invite everyone aboard, and they would follow the Tempest and return to the deck, and quickly they got out as much sake as they could before them preparing to come under Luffy. But as they raised their cups, the Emperor would then say, I don't really want to roll over you. From now on, if you need us, you only ask, and if we need you, we'll ask. And now more than ever, I'm gonna need some friends, not soldiers. Are we maybe going after them? Asked Cavendish. We're taking down Kaido and Big Mom. As we speak, I know that dragon bastard's talking to Big Mom about an alliance. That's a terrifying thought, said Beckham's. But not too outlandish, said BJ. We're heading to Whole Cake next. You up for it? Asked Luffy. With a nod, they all say of course, and they all take a sip, thus finalizing their alliance and coming under him. And Usopp would then yell, now let's party! Woo! Sanji at this moment then kicks the doors open while carrying giant plates, and he will then say, Belle, give me some help. Luffy then summons Belle, who uses her wind to bring out more food and help out. And Pepper and Darkstorm would then drool at the delicacies before they then ask if Sanji can make enough for the people as well. I mean, I'll need some help, but yeah, no sweat. Wonderful, go call everyone, said Viper as he jumps to the ground. And very soon, the Tempest ship is surrounded by the Minks and boarded by pirates who drank, eat, laugh, until they just couldn't anymore. Momonosuke, meanwhile, after the party starts to really get into it and everyone's just kind of chilling into it, he hears the voice of Zunesha, and as he takes a sip from a juice cup, and he would then hear he's returning. Slowly and slowly, he's returning. The young boy is startled and looks around, wondering if someone was playing a prank, but then again he hears the voice say, liberation is near. And Zunesha can now be more right. As 4 days come to pass, Kaido and Lin would make an alliance. They shake the world while they wait for just one man at Whole Cake Island with this whole thing, and Luffy meanwhile had gained a fleet. Bellamy led his own crew with those who were saved by Luffy that one day that Luffy attacked them, and there were about 30 of them, but each of them had very good talents, and even if they weren't great at fighting, some of them had hockey because they told themselves that they wouldn't be worthy of joining Luffy if they didn't. Now I'm going to lay out the divisions because I'm making divisions in this one. Zoro stands as Division 1 captain in charge of Cavendish, Leo, Bartolomeo, and then by extension their crews as well, putting him with 1,131 people, and his vice captain of sorts was Brooks. I'm trying to, even things out. Sanji stood as the Division 2 captain in charge of Sai, who was the husband of Baby 5 now, and Ideo, thus giving him 1,200 people. His vice is Robin. Usopp took charge of the 3rd Division captain, and he took charge as the 3rd Division captain, and he's in charge of Hydrogen and his giant men, and his vice is Frankie. The fact that they're giants at all makes up for the whole, difference in numbers. Luffy left Orumbus as the Division 4 captain, with Chopper as his vice, and after the news of, Chopper beating Jack, he would actually gain the bounty of 4 or 8 million berries. But Sanji, of course, had a different goal for now. While everyone heads to Whole Cake, he heads with his division to Broccoli Island. I hope I said that right. It's spelled very weird in the manga, which had been raided by German army, but more specifically Ichiji and Niji. On the burning island, we find a man point his gun to the murderous Ichiji, who kicks it out of his hand, and he would then stomp his head into the ground. The man then grabs onto his leg and claws at it. You took my children, my wife, you devil. Hey, it's nothing personal. His leg then presses down more and more on his face as the man now knows his death is coming when Ichichi then actually hears something. Bringing on a transponder, he then sees the snail cry as from the other side, a soldier would then yell, "We're being attacked by the Grand Tempest Fleet." The soldier is stunted. Yeah, they're all soldiers. He backs away, taking his foot off the man, who grabs his gun and shoots, only for it to bounce off and come back at him, but he can't perceive it, so Sanji helps him out and puts his foot in front of his face. He knocks away the bullet, with this brother being shot to see him here. You're doing this? German is as horrible as ever. Look what you've done, says Sanji. The brother then releases a beam from his eyes using his powers, as Sanji would then disappear, and in the blink of an eye, Ichichi finds a foot at his face, and he is then kicked and pushed to the ground, causing a massive crater. His leg then becomes enveloped with a golden coat of energy, and as this occurs, Sanji actually hears creaking from his own body. The hell? Sanji thought as he takes his foot off, and he then turns to see the man he had saved run off, and he lights himself a cigarette, while Ichichi was just already down for the count, but Sanji just couldn't bring himself to kill his family, and he would instead just stop him out cold with a hit to the stomach. I wonder how Luffy's doing, he thought. Now, about a day later, we actually find Luffy in a mirror world as he stares down Katakuri and they are left alone, just together, and the pirate then readies his weapon. I can't believe that actually worked, thought Luffy. Now I'm going to explain how he's here. When he and his army actually arrive at Whole Cake, the two sides clash only for a gigantic mirror to be shown, and Luffy was teleported in it. Using an experiment from Caesar, Big Mom injected Broly with more power, which allowed her to be more OP for about 3 minutes. So Luffy just was transported in, but Luffy wasn't just going to stay, and he prepared a spell when his feet then become clenched by the ground, which turns to Mochi. "You're not going anywhere," said Katakuri, as with a dash he appears before Luffy and strikes, but upon hitting Luffy, his trident would then snap in half and it is shattered, leaving the pirate shocked right as he's then flying by a spirit storm. Katakuri luckily was able to cushion himself with Mochi before he then slams to the ground, but despite being in pain, he noticed his scarf was, taken off, and he quickly goes to hide that. He doesn't care about his injuries right now, only for his hand to be stopped, and he looks to see Luffy, who would come to see his true face. Don't feel embarrassed, man. Struggling away, Katakuri would then lose the scarf and back away to show his true face, which was the shame of his life. But in the blink of an eye, Luffy appears before him, leaving him terrified, and he simply looks at the man and says, "Cool. What? Your mouth? It's awesome. What? I have a cyborg and a reindeer in my crew. Did you think that would scare me?" Katakuri doesn't know how to react to this, but this was never a mission to begin with. Honestly, this was just for him to die, because Big Mom and Kaido knew he was going to die. It's Luffy. Mama sent me to my own death, and yet here I am, being complimented by the one who was supposed to be my enemy, he thought. "Hey, want to join my crew?" As Luffy proposes this, hiding in the mirror would be Brule, who was surprised and waited for what Katakuri would say, and he would then say, "I'm the big brother. No matter how hard it is or how hard I'm pushed, I'll protect my family. The same family who sent you on a suicide mission." He stays quiet as Luffy then sighs and turns around. Just think about it. A star then forms above him as he disappears and appears outside the giant mirror, and he flies above it to see a battle already raging at Whole Cake. And not only was his whole fleet here, but Sanji had actually just arrived to help out not long ago. "Well, sucks for Germa. Not for you two," said Luffy as he blasts forward, and the mere wind pressure of this shatters the giant mirror. From below, as Darkstorm stabs through an enemy, he and Jinbei are almost sent to the ground by a huge wave of wind, and slowly everyone looks up to see a shooting star heading to the giant rock lifted up to the sky by Kaido. In this version, it's just a big cake though. On that rock, we then see Kaido and Big Mom swinging down their weapons towards Trafalgar and Kid, who came here to take advantage of the raid. But as they panic, however, appearing before them will be Sanji, whose leg becomes enveloped in a coat of mana before he then kicks, and the attacks will then clash as an explosion of haki occurs, and the two emperors are surprised. "The Conqueror spirit, huh?" said Kaido. With a smile, Sanji will then say, "So what?" Just as Zoro then appears before the two of them, and his Zephyr explodes with mana that Kaido is too familiar with. When did Hironoa get here?" asked Kid. In a flash, Zoro would then appear behind both the emperors, whose chests explode with blood, leaving Trafalgar and Kid shocked, just as Sanji would then push with all his strength and power, and he sends them tumbling down to the ground. Zoro would then land and smile. "Not bad, you love-struck cook. Hey, idiot, I unlocked conquerors before you." The two would then begin to argue already when an explosion of haki then pushes them all back. Kaido would then rise in his hybrid form as he would be grinning from ear to ear, while Big Mom was seething with rage, and she would say, "Prometheus." A ball of flames then covers her swords, and she starts to order Zeus to increase voltage, and the two had acknowledged Black Leg and Roronoa, so they were going to destroy them thoroughly. And then here, "Not so fast." And all too familiar voices then heard as Luffy appears before the two of them while he enters his Saint Sage mode, and his power will be felt through the whole entire Whole Cake Island, leaving the Emperor shivering. With one swing, Luffy pierces Big Mom with the star beam, and she is sent flying off the cake and is plunged into the ocean. Well, Kaido will then come down with a Bagua strike, while Luffy swings up with the Star Staff, and upon the two clashing, Kaido's club is ripped to pieces, leaving him shocked as Luffy will then yell, Wind Fang. A blast of piercing wind then rips through the tyrant, leaving his stomach opened up as an explosion of guts are laid to the ground, and Zoro would just barely avoid all this blood and carnage, and he then puts away his sword, and Luffy will then land. Sorry I'm a bit late. Hey kid. Kid meanwhile would be shivering with fear at how fast this battle ended. He legit came in, just killed two emperors and said hi. I'm gonna have to fight this monster? I won't stand a chance. Screw training. I need a whole army for just one guy. From below then come cheers of the Straw Hat Fleet as Luffy would then fly off the cake, and with a smile he then yells, let's go to Wano next. Yeah, yes captain. Now as Kaido dies out, however, he's not overtaken by grief. He smiles. Maybe Luffy wasn't Joy Boy, but he might as well be, and he thought, years ago born in the East Blue with the abilities to control nature itself. Straw Hat, I don't know what you are, but this fight, it was the best I've ever had. The lights then go out and loses his life as we fade to black. We get to Wano 3 days later after the war, as the streets of Curry are left completely horrified at the news, and at the Wano prison, the prisoners were to the bone like usual, but we will focus on Kawamatsu for now, as he lays resting in a cell filled with piles of poisonous fish bones. They're a bit late today, huh, aren't they, he thought. An explosion, however, then goes off at this point, as he frantically stood and held onto his sword. In would then leak an eerie energy and a feel of dominance, right as his cell bars are then ripped off, and he would then see the beady eyes of a creature, the red beady eyes of a creature, and he would then ask, who are you? Walking in, the creature would then turn out to be a reindeer, more specifically Chopper, in his advanced horn point, and his eyes will return to normal as he turns to his cutesy form before flashing some light in with the dial. Hey there. Another explosion then occurs upon him saying this, and Kawamatsu then lets go of his sword as he asks what was going on. Come on, we're freeing you. He gestures to follow as he then runs out, and Kawamatsu does as well, following him, and he thought, those cell bars are filled with something even the strongest hockey users can hardly break. Who is he? But then he steps out, and a bunch of smoke from the explosions would kind of cover his sight before they fade, and he finds that the prisoners are revolting against their oppressors while being held, no, they're not held. They're not being held prisoner anymore. They're being led by Hyogoro. Yeah, let's say Hyogoro. But then the smoke is then completely blown away by wind as Kawamatsu would then look up to see Luffy. Getting a real reckoning, alright guys, he yells. The Emperor of Storms. He really is. He's super young. Incredible, thought Kawamatsu. But then he realizes that Kaido is going to attack, and he asks Chopper if they have countermeasures for that, only for Chopper to say, oh, you probably don't know since you've been in there for so long. Kaido's dead. The Kappa is left baffled at all this information and says, I assume Straw Hat did this? Yep. Oh, guys, don't hurt yourselves on purpose, yells Chopper. Yes, Dr. Chopper, sorry, someone respond. Now we're going to have a time skip of 3 years. Ha. We see a luxurious palace on some random island. It's a kingdom. And we enter it to see Tama running down the hallways of this place while accompanied by a much older Chopper. I can't wait to see him, she'd say. Alright, don't run so fast. Don't want you falling over, but here it is. They arrive at the chambers of Luffy and Boa before Chopper then opens the door to show Boa holding a baby as the baby grabbing his cheek and playing with it, and the entire crew was actually present. And upon seeing Tama, Luffy then says to come over, and with a glimmer in her eye, she then runs over asking, what's his name? We decided to go for Monkey D. Asta, said Boa. Wow. Does he have a book too, asked Tama. Actually, yeah, look, says Luffy. He brings out a 5-leaf grimoire, and it will be red and black, and she can feel an eerie energy from it, but it's not dirty. It's legit just, black and red. But she was more focused on the amount of leaves it had. It had 5 more than Luffy. He even has her eyes, said Robin, and he has Luffy's books, said Boa. As the married couple then look at each other and laugh, in then runs Bartolomeo, who says, Your Majesty, they came. Oh, the cavalry's here, huh, said Zoro. I guess it's time for some brunch. Help me out, Katakuri. I need some mochi, asked Sanji, and the former Big Mom pirate then said, of course. Meanwhile, Jinbei then said, I wonder who arrived today. Laughing, Yamato would then say, hopefully Ace is here, and she runs ahead to the party room until she ends up at a balcony, and looking up, the pirates then from below then see the Oni jump in and land. Ace, she would yell, and walking over, Ace then says hi, and she says, the baby is really adorable, by the way. Hearing all of this, those who are present wouldn't just be pirates, by the way, but every single person Luffy has ever known. That includes Shanks. This includes Vivi as well, and the Fishman, and even Gaimon, bro. Gaimon here, bro. He a king now, by the way. He a king of the weird animals. But yeah, as Yamato announces this, the Tempest then walk into the room using a door instead of leaping in on a balcony. And they are met by their friends, colleagues and stuff like that. And then over the balcony, Luffy and Boa arrive. Took you long enough. Like, I wonder if it was ever Miss Hancock, the crowd be saying. And Boa would then say, feel free to enjoy yourselves, but we want to introduce you to Asta. She shows the face of the baby, leaving everyone starstruck because he definitely got the best of both worlds, and as it laughs, its eyes actually turn red as this Grimoire then flies over from the room and comes to a stop right before everyone, and it opens up to show the Demon Slayer sword come out. However, everyone felt something from the book was just different, and they also felt it from the boy. It was the Conqueror Spirit, the Supreme Conqueror Spirit, and his potential just seemed terrifying. Yeah, I cannot spoil him at all, thought Luffy. And this brings us to the end of the story. Finally, holy bro, I'm sorry, but it's One Piece, and I finally finished this final part. I cannot be more happy. I am not doing One Piece with this for a while, bro. Actually, from now on, I want to set myself a rule. If I ever do a One Piece what if, you guys will never see it until I fully finish it by script before I actually release any parts. Because I cannot do that. That's gonna hurt my brain. It was so hard to make this 15th part not be. And I realize I'm cursing a lot. I'll bleep it all out. It doesn't matter anyway. But I'm happy as hell, bro. Happy as hell. I hope you were happy to see it end as well. That's why it's called the Spade Kingdom. Welcome. I'm gonna try and get some more ideas flowing. I already got like a bunch of them, so don't worry. But like, I'm gonna finish all the what ifs up first before I even finish them. That doesn't mean that I'm not working on any. And also, I'm already on the second part of the Ichigo what if. Ichigo just went to Soul Society, so I'm trying to figure out how to have the fights be more exciting. You know, I can't just have him doing the most basic crap. You know, he has to be fighting stronger people from the top. He can't be facing off against weak niggas. All right, I'm gonna leave. Again, you're getting the Okir what if tomorrow, so yeah, look forward to that. All right, I'm gonna leave. Peace. I'm gone.
Yeah, you better listen. I'm bringing heat. You'll be a fan when I start rapping. Way I'll have your fucking head spinning. I'm known as spit vicious. Release bombs and go tick tick. Boom, you blown me that head missing. I'm a phenomenon. Stacking cheese like it's Parmesan. 8 different flows, call me Octomom. I'm moving fast like the Autobahn, and I'm independent, so I'm not your fucking starving like.